Hello boys and girls, it's really great to be able to speak to you this morning. And today we're going to start a brand new series that is especially for you. The series is called The Attributes of God, and that's really just a fancy way of saying that we're going to learn something of what God is like. And we're going to begin today with the letter A, and we're going to work our way through the alphabet. To begin at the letter A, we actually have to go to the very last book of the Bible, the book of Revelation. Revelation chapter 22 and verse 13, where we read, "I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end." Now you might be thinking, what does God mean whenever he says he is the Alpha and the Omega? In our alphabet, we're used to starting at A and ending with Z. But in the Greek language, that's the language that the New Testament, the second part of the Bible, was written in, they don't have the same letters as we do. Their alphabet starts with Alpha and ends with Omega. So it's a bit like God saying, I am the A to Z, the first and last, the beginning and the end. We're used to things having a beginning. Maybe you have an alarm clock that rings in the morning to tell you, it's time to get up, your day is beginning. Maybe when you're writing a sentence, you have to think very carefully about what you put at the beginning of that sentence. And I hope you say a capital letter. Maybe when you're running a race, somebody blows a whistle to tell you the race is beginning, it's time to go. And I am sure that most of you could sing the theme tune that you hear that tells you that your favourite television show is beginning. We're used to things having a beginning. But the Bible tells us that God has no beginning. In the book of Genesis, way back at the start of the Bible, we read, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. We're going to come back and look at that in a few weeks' time, but that tells us that in the beginning, God was already there. He has no beginning and no ending. Nobody made him. He has always been there, and he will always be there. He never changes. And that's hard for us sometimes to understand. But it means that we can always trust him. This God that we can trust, that we can talk to, is the same God who created all things. The same God who parted the Red Sea for the people of Israel to walk through. And we can trust him with everything. We can trust him with the things that make us happy. We can trust him with the things that make us sad. We can trust him with the things that worry us. We can trust him with the things that make us feel scared. We can always trust him. And it also means that his love for us never changes. God loved us so much that he sent his perfect son Jesus to earth to die on a cross, to take the punishment for my sin and for your sin. That is how much God loves you and how much God loves me. What amazing love. And it never changes. Now I wonder what God means when he says, not only he is the Alpha, but also the Omega, the end of all things. Well, Jesus didn't stay dead. He rose from the grave and is alive today in heaven, showing that he has the power to get rid of sin and death forever. And the Bible tells us that one day he is coming back again. He's coming back to make all things new, to fix all the things that are broken about our world, all those things that make us sad, those things that make us worried, those things that make us feel afraid. And when Jesus comes back, he's going to take all of those who have trusted him to forgive them for their sin to heaven, his perfect home, a place where there is no more fear, there is no more sadness, there is no more worry, there are no more tears, no more sickness, no more death. But the best bit is that God is there. I wonder if you have trusted Jesus to forgive you for your sin. If you haven't, maybe that's something that you would like to talk about with the people that you are watching with today. If you have trusted Jesus to forgive you for your sin, he has given you a very special job to do. Until he comes back, he has given you the job of telling other people about him, of telling other people just how amazing he is, and telling other people how much he loves them. So today we have learned that God is the Alpha and the Omega. And that's just the start of our very special series. But I've got a job for you to do. During the week, before you hear from me again, I'd love it if you would get a piece of paper. Now, quite a big piece of paper would be useful. Here's mine. And at the top, I'd love it if you would write, God is Alpha and Omega. Then next week, we will add the letter B. Maybe you could have a think during the week to see if you can guess what the letter B will stand for. And then, when we're back together in church, the very first week we're back, I'd love it if you would bring your posters with you. I would love to see them when we're all back together again. So, get that paper ready, get your poster nicely decorated, and I'll speak to you soon.